The reason that you're seeing me today is because today I wanted to talk about something quite important. I wanted to speak about mental health. And recently, normally I'm quite a private person. I don't normally share my experiences. I keep myself to myself. But recently I've had a realization that maybe what I've gone through might give other people, the courage to go on their own healing journeys. And to know that it's possible, because I'm living proof of that. But it's quite uncomfortable for me to sit here and talk about this, so I'm sort of getting used to being uncomfortable about these kind of things. But the aim of this video is to give others hope, really, and to show them that you can overcome anything in your life, because you can. You've got that power. So give you a brief overview of my life. So when I was younger, there's a lot of things happening in the family home. My dad suffered heavily with depression. There would be fights with my brothers. At one point, my brother tried to kill my dad with a knife and things like that. And we'd have police coming over, and it was a very, very difficult time. And my dad was he was a kind of no nonsense kind of man, So, and he found it very hard to express his emotions. So it wasn't an easy thing to deal with. And then also growing up, there's things that I've had to experience where, I had to get away from a paedophile at one point. So that wasn't great. And then, one of my brothers, he sort of left home, and then he came back into my reality 15 years later. And then he was sexually inappropriate towards me, so I cut him out of my life. And then sort of going further along the line, my dad got diagnosed with cancer, which was a really, really difficult process. And unfortunately, I was too late to say goodbye to him. So basically, I turned up at the hospital and he'd already gone. So yeah, he was grey, his mouth was open, his eyes were still open, but his soul had completely gone. And then after that, my mum, she got involved with some scammers. She ended up losing all of her money. Had to take the dog back to the RSPCA. She had to stay with me in a house share. So, and I had to try and get her house through the council so that she had a place. And then in between that as well, there's relationships that I've been in where they've been abusive, and people have just tried to use me for money, for other things as well. It's just been very, very abusive. And then through COVID, I found that was a really difficult time. Really suffered with my mental health with that. My anxiety went through the roof, and I was having panic attacks. And then after that, I found someone who I thought was my soulmate, and then that turned into a 3-year domestic abuse relationship, where I had a 2-year-old son. I also was battling with postnatal depression at the start as well. But the thing is, I've overcome all of that. And it wasn't easy. It's not been an easy process by any means, but I've had to go inward. And the most important work that you'll ever do on yourself the most important work that you'll ever do in this lifetime is the work that you do on yourself. And I just want to be the best version of me, not just for myself, but for my son. So I don't want him growing up in toxic situations, and that's why I took him out of the last situation that we were in. And also, I just want to mention my brother as well, my other brother, the one that I do speak to. I have so much respect for him because he came out of the army with PTSD and bipolar, and with the trauma that he's experienced. And now he's happy. He's got a lovely, he's got a lovely missus. They've been together for a few years. They've got a brand new house together, and she is his support system. But he puts the work in. He eats the right things. He medicates. He exercises. And if you do these things consistently, and with me, with my depression, sometimes It's really difficult. It is so difficult. You get these days where you just feel like you're giving up. But don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. There are people out there that wouldn't be able to stand a day in your shoes. And so you need to acknowledge how far you've actually come. And if you can overcome all of these things, you can do anything. The world is your oyster. So I just wanted to briefly post this video in the hope that it might help others out there. So yeah, have a good day.